Hey everyone! We got two brand new things coming to the main island. Finally, an update to Dr. T that actually makes his bases get tougher, and you can compete for who's the best on leaderboard spots. Also some cool new flying units coming to the main island. So let's get right into it. We are on the dev build, so that's why we have like a million diamonds. But before Dr. T, you might notice we don't have too many buttons on the left side, so they kind of condense the menu by clicking that XP level. So you can see there you have your achievements, you got your normal leaderboards, you got settings. So all that stuff is now in that one button. But the first big change is happening with both Dr. T Tropical and Volcano Islands. And what used to happen is, whether you're HQ 10 or HQ 27, everyone has the same stage 1 all the way to stage 7, but now it kind of scales based on how strong you are. So this HQ 10 for example, you start at threat level 1, you're going to call all these levels threat levels. And I guess it's your standard stage 1, not too many buildings. But then as you keep going, so like stage 5, of course it gets a little tougher, but still easier than you would normally see on the main island. So it's kind of matching the level that you are on the main base. And then when you go all the way to stage 7, still way easier than we've ever seen on the main island. And I guess a cool thing that all the stage 7s now are going to have either a super mortar or that MMG 9000. So a cool way to bring those back in the main island. But the main difference is after you beat stage 7, you can see right there, it's going to increase your threat level the next time you have Dr. T. So every single time you beat Dr. T, you're going to have a little tougher level next time. It's going to mean more rewards, and you can go on the leaderboard. So let's say you do beat Dr. T, that means the next time you're not going to start at level 1, you're going to go to level 2, and you can keep on doing this every time you get Dr. T, and it just increases in level. It does mean only 2 levels per week, which is kind of a slow progress, but we can see if it's balanced enough once the update lands. And now we can fast forward to the next time we do have Dr. T. So you see we're not starting at level 1, but already at level 2, and it's just going to go 2 to 8. So every time you beat that 7th stage, it increases your threat level for the next time. And sort of the point of this, other than getting more loot, is now you can compete on leaderboards. So like we got up to stage 8 now, so on the leaderboard we have a level of 800, and even max players, the more levels they get, the higher they can compete to. So now Dr. T is more than just kill a few bases and that's it. Now you can compete with others and show off a bit. Now not everyone is going to start at threat level 1. The way it goes once the update lands is whatever HQ level you are, you're going to start at that threat level minus 10. So of course we're HQ 10, so we're starting at level 1. But if you're a maxed out player, so HQ 27, you're going to start at 10 minus that, so threat level 17. So now we can show a maxed out player at HQ 27, and you're going to start at threat level 17. So this is like our stage 1 if you want to call it, and you can already see way tougher than stage 7 on an HQ 10. So it is going to scale with level now and give tougher bases the higher level you are. So this is our stage 1 with a little bit of building health. Still pretty easy, but as you keep on going through Dr. T, it gets tougher and tougher. And it's not without benefits either. The more threat level you can get, you get more rewards based on beating stages. And especially once you get to threat level 26, that's where rewards are going to max out. And all in all, you get more rewards from this new Dr. T than you would before. So now when Dr. T comes, you're maxed out, you start at threat level 17, can go all the way to 23, and as you beat it, you can show up on the leaderboards. There's going to be tougher bases, more rewards, and could be a big reason for people to start doing Dr. T again. Would be cool if at some point maybe they give some trophies attached to it, but even leaderboard spots is pretty cool. This one here with that MMG 9000, every stage 7 is going to have either this or a super mortar, and you see that building health, it's not crazy yet, but it does ramp up. We can quickly show every 10 levels how much it increases, so going from threat level 23 to 33, now it already is 300% building health, and the buildings are a bit higher level. And it will take a bit of time, like since 10 levels is around 5 weeks, you get 2 Dr. T's every week. But already at 43, goes from 300 to almost 600 building health. And the building damage too, it ramps up. And then if you want to go even further to threat level 53, it's almost 1000 building health now. So maybe the first few weeks isn't going to seem too tough, but it can really get up there. Going all the way to 60s, now you have almost 1500 building health. And I've noticed this is kind of where it caps out, around 1500. So maybe they can keep on increasing it later, but even threat level 60, that's going to take about 30 weeks, so about half a year. So maybe plenty of time for the devs to see how the balance is and maybe make it tougher, maybe a bit easier. And of course, as you beat those bases, you get higher spots on the leaderboard. And even if, let's say, you don't really care about the leaderboards, then that's fine too. If you only want resources, you can always downgrade back to a lower level. So there's going to be a button that says if you want to go down to threat level 26, which is max resources. And if you activate it, it lets you go down from whatever threat level you are all the way down to 26. So you're going to have easier bases, still max resources. You just won't be on the leaderboards for that week. And all this is the same for Dr. T Volcano 2. They're going to be independent with their own leaderboards, their own scaling. But what do you think about these kind of changes with Dr. T? It's really the first major change to Dr. T in maybe like 8 years. Some OGs might remember way back when it had 20 stages, but at least now it's getting tougher. And if you're that competitive type, you can get on that leaderboard. But other than those Dr. T changes, the second big thing in this update is some new flying troops moving over from warships. And while having heavy choppers might be cool, could also be super overpowered, but we got rocket choppers coming instead. They're gonna be at HQ 23, so if you're in HQ 24, you can have 2 rocket choppers per boat, and have some fun with 16 RCs. They are gonna have 27 levels coming to the main island, and we can show the stats right there. I've always thought rocket choppers are a pretty balanced proto-troop that if they ever were to come to the main island forever, then you don't even have to balance it too much. Because of course they're pretty fragile, dying to cannons, boom cannons, but if you get a good meat shield in front, then they can do a lot of work. And along with RCs, we got ourselves a first new hero in like 8 years. Seen him a few times in warship seasons, but Captain Rudy, finally coming to the main island. Can get him at HQ 24, and since we had him a few times in warships, we'll put a video above kind of explaining how he works. But he's not going to be super easy to unlock. All the other 4 heroes, you have a hammerman base and you just find it, beat it, you unlock the hero. Rudy is going to work a bit different. You gotta have these clues that you find just by clearing your map. This could be normal player bases, NPC bases, or even stuff like Dr. T. But after a few tests, it seems like around 4 to 6 bases you have to clear. So it means you can't just destroy NPCs, actually clear the base. But Brick pops up, gives you a clue, and you can kind of look in the hero hut. There is a cooldown timer, so you can only find 1 clue every 24 hours. But once you wait that full day, it tells you how many clues you found. And you do the same thing again, do a little bit of map clearing, find another clue, and then you can just keep on racking them up. You do need to find 10 clues to unlock Rudy, so I guess the earliest you want to unlock him is going to be a full 10 days after the update. So just make sure you're map clearing so you can unlock Rudy soon as possible. So when you do get that 10th clue, then you discover a secret new hammerman base, and especially for maxed out, you haven't seen this one in years. Because when you beat them the first time, then you never get them back. So it's a cool new one here, especially with the newer defenses like crit launchers, we got some proto buildings, even some barbed wire and some cool melon patches. So maybe some new ways to take this down, especially if you're a brand new HQ24. But it's gonna be cool to see what some people come up with. And once you do beat Hammerman, then you got Rudy right there. Just like the other heroes, you can upgrade him in the hero hut. And he's gonna have 17 levels, so we'll show the stats there, with all 3 of his abilities going to level 6. But still think it's a pretty creative way to unlock a new hero with those clues, and even though it's just map clearing, it still feels more unique than having everyone get him right away. And also as a side note, if you're buying anything in the shop, whether it's offers, diamonds, instant training, it would be cool if you use a creator code. If you want to support this channel, you can use code Stoneheart. And even though Dr. T and Captain Rudy, RCs on the main island, are the main things coming in the update, there are some quality of life improvements for some low levels. The first one being, if you're until HQ 5, you get this little crash course, which is like a free version of the Boom Pass. Just some ways to help you navigate until you get to HQ 5. You get a few rewards like some wood, gold, and diamonds. And once you get to the end, you get 100,000 gold. So nothing crazy, and if you're already a bit higher HQ, you won't have this. But just a little easier for those low levels to make some progress. And another thing is, once you do get to HQ 5, everyone, including max players, can have these training grounds. And it's just 20 stages for learning some really basics about the game. So things like you want to use rifles against cannons because they're large numbers against a single shot. And nothing too crazy, but just some way for, again, low levels to learn about the game. And even if you're maxed out, just a few extra time savers and gold. A couple other changes is now Heavy's training time is going to scale depending on the level. So we'll show some stats there. The lower level you are, the faster as Heavies are going to train. But if you're maxed out, it's the same as normal. We also got a few other changes to low levels listed there. So it's not like they're completely neglected this update, still got some quality of life. And the last thing being some bug fixes, so showing those on the screen. Like one improvement is, now if you're doing a sub dive, you can see the timer back in your home island. But again, those main things being Dr. T now being tougher stages, having those leaderboards, and bringing rocket choppers and Rudy to the main island. But let me know what you think about the new update. It's not a new HQ level like some of us thought, but some pretty cool changes nevertheless. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.